Hello everyone, this is Jay at Inspiration Masters. We are a communication and leadership training institute in the DFW area. We have locations all the way throughout DFW, training the corporate as well as the youth groups. And we train on public speaking and leadership. As a part of our inspiring series, we get the opportunity to meet the difference makers, the artists, the entrepreneurs, the business owners, the people who are making a difference, not just in the United States, but around the world. And today I have a great difference maker with me. I have a great privilege to have with me here Mr. Ram Majji. Ram, welcome to Inspiration Masters.
Jay, thank you so much for the opportunity again. Appreciate it. You guys are doing a great job and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ram. That's kind words. And we have met Ram before. I'm going to introduce a short introduction. Ram doesn't need much, but I will give a short introduction for the people in Dallas. I think most of the people you're connected with, they know you. Ram is an entrepreneur, he's a job creator, he is a senior vice president, partnerships and alliance for a technology company here. He's also a neighborhood watch block captain. We are going to find out more about it. Frisco City Hall 101 graduate, co-chair for Frisco Indo-American Affairs Committee, 2018 Citizen Bond Committee, co-chair for Frisco Residents for Public Education Political Action Committee, the director of operations Yes for Frisco PAC, and he's been a resident of Frisco for the last 20 years. And one of the most important thing now, he has announced his candidacy for the city council for the city of Frisco. So Ram, welcome.
Thank you.
We are excited to find out a whole lot of things from you today. And of course, people know a lot, but there are so many things which we want to talk about. So I will go with a little continuation. We talked to Ram last time about the proposals and how he and the entire team in Frisco was able to get the taxes lowered. But he's doing a whole lot more things this time. So first I'm going to have you take the chance and opportunity to introduce yourself, and then we'll talk further.
Sure, absolutely. Hello, Frisco, and also the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area. My name is Ram Majji. I am the candidate for May 2020 Frisco City Council, Place 5. I've been a Frisco resident for over 2 decades, and my wife, she's a federal employee, and we've been living in Frisco together for like almost 2 decades. Both my kids go to Frisco ISD schools. Thanks, Jay.
Okay, great. So something we wanted everybody to know, because I didn't describe in here. So when you were growing up, what is it that made you think, hey, I really want to go for leadership position, or I want to go for the problem solving? Where did it all start for you?
You know, that's actually a great question. So my journey has been very unique, and it's also very interesting, So I started off my first job in Peoria, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of good mentors, like, project managers I was working with. Then I also went to like Milwaukee, worked there for like a couple of years. And then for some reason I decided that, I need to move to Texas.
Okay.
So lived in Houston for, for some time. But for the last 2 decades,
Mm-hmm.
I've been calling Frisco as my home.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been very interesting. I mean, I tell people this, like, when I moved to Frisco, I had nothing. I mean, I just moved. I was newly married, and then, we didn't have a lot of bank account, or like, we did not knew anything what is going on in Frisco. So it all started off that. But again, the reason I got inspired is like, basically, we started a journey. We had a bumpy road, but getting married, raising family, getting very involved in the community, seeing what is happening in the city and everything else, that actually really kind of helped me to think about, I need to get involved with the leadership.
I think there was not much. I remember in Frisco it was mainly land. When we used to travel, everything was under construction and things like that. It was around 2002 I'm talking about.
That is true.
That's
true.
around that time frame. When I was here, when I moved to Texas and all, I moved in 2000, but around that, the Frisco was getting into the fastest growing city kind of thing.
That's true. Yeah, at that point in Frisco, right, we had like Preston Road, which is our famous road.
Mm-hmm.
It was just 2 lanes. And I think we were actually just bringing up the Stonebriar Mall at that point. So we didn't have anything. I mean, let's fast forward today. Like, you know, we are the fastest growing city in the entire United States, and that goes to all the leaders in Frisco, all the residents in Frisco, everybody who worked hard to make it happen. The dream come true for us, you know.
Right, right. So was there somebody in your family or some friends? How did you get inspired to get into the city work? Because all of us work in private, but then you started taking these leadership positions. And I see, I read through the thing, like the Frisco City Hall 101 graduate or neighborhood watch block captain. You got involved so many places. Was there anybody who was inspiring you, or was somebody in your family who did this kind of thing?
You know, actually, like, you know, as you're going through your life, right, you will meet a lot of people. But to just name it, right, I have two people who really inspired me. One is my father. He has been always a public servant and never had any official position, whether he was actually serving in India or whether he was serving in Irving when he used to live with me here. He has been always a public servant. He was always helping people. He was just there when people needed help. So that was actually a big inspiring factor for me. So that's how I got into like public servant and also public service in this case. And also apart from that, like, you know, I get a lot of help from my wife. I mean, she is phenomenal. She actually helped me go out and then do a lot of public service. And I think that partnership is very important in order to make sure that we are able to serve outside the home, you know?
No, that is so true. And because sometimes, you know, when you are living in a city and the city is growing, sometimes it's the problem or the issue which gets you inspired that, hey, we need to do something about it. Something like that, did anything like that come up for you?
I think, you know, to me, the most important thing is like, you know, getting involved more in the city, getting to know like what is happening in the city, like, you know, whether it's city or whether it's the school district, right? So as you're getting involved, as you're volunteering in these like different activities, whether it's volunteers or whether it's civic, you get to know like, you know, a lot of stuff which is happening in the city. And that's what really inspired me to get involved in a lot of these activities, whether I'm helping people or whether I'm actually getting involved with the civic, which is means like, you know, helping educate the voters to come out and vote, because it's very important to like, you know, exercise their right. So that was actually a very important thing. So that's what actually attracted me to get more involved with the city.
Yeah, that's so true. And you have you're part of these organizations. So tell us something about, because those are something which are very important as a ground up to learn something about the neighborhood watch block captain. So tell us something a little bit about it so that we get an idea what it is.
You know what, actually, we love neighborhood block captain. It's actually something, you know, I would say it's one of the fabulous program any city could have, right? We work with the Frisco Police Department on this one. And I think the most important thing is we are actually the block captains. We're always keeping an eye on the community. If there's any suspicious or if there's any dangerous activities happening, we actually provide that information to our Frisco Police Department, and they actually take action. So we are involved, and then we actually go, you know, it's a very important program where they actually go through like background check and make sure that, you know, you are actually eligible to be a block captain. And that actually also does a lot of things. You know, as a block captain, we are getting involved. We're bringing the community together within our subdivision. And then also, like, you know, help the PD in this case, you know?
Yeah, that's true, because somebody has to bring them. They can't be everywhere. You have to be the eyes. You can tell them what's going on. Also, when I heard about the Plan 101 graduate for the Frisco City Hall, it is very interesting. I guess it's a precursor of something which you're planning to do as a council member. So let everyone know about that part. How does that one work, like the program?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like it's, I would say Frisco City Hall graduate or the 101 program, it's actually one of the, you know, I was very impressed when I kind of saw this one. I lived in Frisco for almost like, you know, a lot of years. And then when I started taking this particular program, it was like an eye-opening for me. I mean, the first thing is, I have to give a shout out to all the city employees. I mean, they work so hard. And then getting to know what is Frisco, you know, Public Works. Getting to know about the Frisco Police Department, getting to know about the entire city technology, how it works, and then getting to know how the fire works. I mean, you know, so getting to know each department And then every week on Monday, or like, Monday, I think I remember it's Mondays. So we used to have every department come in and kind of present what they do. And that's a great education. I actually tell every citizen living, wherever you have that program, whether it's in Frisco or any other city, I think it's important that you need to go and understand how the city operates, and you will learn like how city works. And that's what we were lucky to have that program and then take advantage of that.
And that is so true, and it's very important, because now when you're going for the city leadership, you have to go back otherwise if you had not done it before. Because it is so important that the city leaders, all our leaders, have that first-hand knowledge of what's going on and how the city runs.
Yeah, and I'll add, like, knowledge is the power. I mean, knowing more about your city, and if they're actually putting all these programs, I think as a citizen, it's very important that you need to take advantage of that one, because we need to understand like how city operates as a citizen, and I think it's going to be a happy marriage between the citizens and then the city employees and the council.
True, it does help, and everyone there, if they are knowledgeable about how it is going on, that they can help. And now you have several things which you will be coming across, and tell us something about some of the things which you have in mind as a top priority when you go out as a council member, or if you go out. Some of the things, I just was looking up the information, like lowering taxes or something of improved traffic. Tell us something about those 5 points which you have in mind.
Yes, so no, that's a great question actually. I think it's very important, like, as the fastest growing city in the United States, Frisco is, they're doing a great job. And I think, we are going to have like more population moving in, and it's important to kind of preserve what we have. So my platform, or the core issues I'm running, is the first thing is to make sure that we have local jobs.
Yes.
So local jobs is a big one, and then traffic. We are growing. And then we also have other cities growing. So it's very important that we have improved traffic systems, so that way we can actually help on the traffic side of it.
Yeah.
Another important thing is the public safety.
Yeah.
I mean, public safety, as we grow as a fastest growing city, we need to make sure that there is control to the crime. And then also, it's very important that we take care of the police department, right? So that is another important thing, as one of the platform I have. Another thing is the educational partnership. We have now we have the UNT moving into Frisco, and then we also have the Collin College, and we have the Frisco ISD.
Right.
These are like big educational partners for the city.
UNT campus, is it done, or almost it's in the process?
I mean, the campus, we have like some satellite campuses there, but we're in the process of building it. So once it is built out, right, it's very important that we have that partnership with them.
Yeah.
Because moving in is one part of it,
Yeah.
and maintaining is another part.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is, as a part of this, is to make sure that we solidify that partnership with UNT, with the Collin County, and make sure that we work in hand with all these other, like in this case, Frisco ISD.
Yes.
And that's important to me, to make sure that we have those educational partnerships.
No, that's true. So I'm glad you said about traffic, jobs, public safety. Also, you had mentioned about lower taxes.
Yeah.
So I think you give us a lot of details on that too in the past.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's very important. Like, taxes is a big thing for like a lot of the citizens. The first thing they say is like, we need to make sure that the taxes are lowered. So what I would like to do as a part of this is, like, again, there is a lot of education involved. We are going to learn as we go through the process. I think keeping it consistent from a taxes perspective, that is going to be the key to this whole thing.
Right.
So work hand in hand with the city, work with the council to make sure that we have solutions to make sure that we have the taxes lowered or taxes consistent. So that's going to be an important thing as we go through the process here.
And you want to throw some light on how this council works? How does that work? Like how many members or anything of that
Sure,
sort?
no, absolutely. So in our city, right, we have the mayor. You can call that as a head of the, like a CEO,
Council,
okay? And then we also have like 6 places for the council, and it's at large. That means like we have place 1, place 2 through place 6, and those are the council members. And so basically it's a mayor and the council, and then we have the city employees.
Okay.
So they're the ones who operate and then make things happen as a part of the city.
Yeah. So when somebody comes up with something that goes there, and they are the part of the decision-making process.
Correct, exactly.
Wow.
And we do have like, one of the thing is, we have like 2 meetings from a public perspective. City Hall meetings actually happen on the first Tuesday and then also the third Tuesday of the month. And that is where you have like proclamations happening, or if you have a public hearing, or if there's any updates, whether it's coming to public departments or water department or whether it's police department. That is the forum where you actually get to hear.
Right.
And then we have the council and the mayor sitting there, and that's where all the operations happen as a part of the city. That's how our city operates. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's good to know, because it's a process, and the more people know about the process, they know how to go and how to approach and things like that.
That is true, exactly, yes.
Also, one more thing I really want to know from you, because we are working with youth all over the place, including a couple of locations in Frisco too. So I really want to know how the youth can get involved, because this is a very powerful group. They are the future. The seats you and I occupy are the ones who are all going to be eventually occupied by them. So what is it that they can do? How they can participate in that?
I think the youth is very important. I mean, honestly, within, there are a lot of kids who are interested. A lot of parents came to me that, hey, how can I get my kid involved in the political stuff? How do they learn about politics?
Yeah.
I actually encourage any kids who wants to be part of it. I think they should be part of the campaign. I'm not going to give all the secrets here, but I would say that I do have a lot of youth who are going to help me with my social media, who are going to help me with my like the content, and this is very important as a part of this one.
That's
and then it's an education for them as they're getting involved.
Any of the people, if you know about in politics, those even the presidential candidates or all of those in the past, several of them, they all started at that place.
That is true. Campaign work, and then also, try to be part of the civic responsibilities. I think that's going to be the key. If they work through that one, I think they get to know how the political system works. And see, we all learn every day. I'm still learning. But I think if the youth can get involved at an earlier stage, I think they get to gain a lot of knowledge.
That is so true. So what would be your message to the people who think they are at the edge, they are not joined in public service, but there is an option? So how would you encourage them? I want you to give them a message that they can join in, and tell us something about it. How
Absolutely. Yeah, like one of the things I would say is like, as a citizen of any city, right? Getting involved is very critical. And the other thing is like education is the key here. We have a lot of people talking about like, property taxes. They're talking about public safety. They're talking about traffic system. And there are like, a lot of things which happens as a part of the city. I think, there are so many options you could do. There are a lot of volunteer activities within the city. It's a great thing to invest your time and money or like, your sweat into the city.
Yes.
So where you live, you need to invest there.
Yes.
And volunteering activity is a big thing. Another thing is like, if you really want to serve and you want to learn about the city, in our city, we have a lot of commission boards, and getting involved in those commission boards is going to be very critical. Because if you're actually volunteering in the city and if you're in the commission board, then you can actually help other citizens because you have the direct connection with the council. You can work with the mayor, you can work with the city. It's all about like, knowing how things work in the city, so that way you can help everybody else. So that's where I would say that like, if you're interested as a person living in any city, getting involved is going to be the key here.
So again, that is so nice. And so of course, Mr. Gopal, he was here and explained us so many things about the school districts. And both of you have inspired us as well as a lot of people out there to go out and do something for the city. So going out, that's what we call doers. Because sometimes we talk around the table, the message doesn't go out to the right people. So you taking that lead and going out to the city council and taking that lead and being in that decision-making seat is very important. And that is the reason we said, okay, we need to talk to you and need to get the message out to everyone. So again, thank you for taking the time. We greatly appreciate it. And what are your future plans now? Tell us something about any of the future plans you have related to the city or anything else.
So, like we have our the elections in May. And what I'm trying to do right now is like as a part of our core team, I'm very lucky to have a treasurer who has been living in Frisco for a long time. His name is Rick Fletcher, and I think I'm honored to have him as my treasurer because there's going to be a great learning experience here. So I'm trying to learn as we go through the process. But at the same time, the elections are in May, which is only 5 to 6 months. So I started doing a lot of campaign work, meeting a lot of people, especially a lot of leaders in the city. Another thing is doing a lot of meet and greets.
Yes.
And I'm going to be doing a lot of door knocking. So I am going to be reaching out to every subdivision in the city of Frisco. And I'll be, that's my activities until May. And I'm going to do that one and have a lot of meet and greets. So.
That's very good to know. So again, Ram, that's so nice of you to take the time and explain some things about how these things work. One more thing. Before I let you go, where can people reach you?
There are multiple ways to reach me. One is, please, you can call my phone number anytime, 972-746-5327. And then now I also have a website, which is RAM for Frisco. That is RAM 4 Frisco, FRISCO.com.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thanks for sharing that. So again, you can reach Ram, and on behalf of the entire team of Inspiration Masters, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Best
Thank you always.
wishes
Appreciate it. Thank
for
you.
all you undertake.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. And again, I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. This is Jay at Inspiration Masters. Do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the bell button so you are notified of any of the interviews coming up. Also, you can look up Facebook, like us on Facebook. That way you do not miss any of these interviews coming up. Again, this is Jay at Inspiration Masters. Thank you for watching. I'll see you back in a week.